Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Happy whatever day it is you're listening to this. We are glad you are here.
I think we're just going to start by hanging up on something.
Yeah.
We had originally intended to make all of June's podcasts about pride, but I'm tired of it. I'm hanging up on the
She's
gays.
over it already.
I'm over the gayness. It's not really the gays' fault. As a gay person, I can say it.
She's allowed to
but
decide
I'm
she's
just-
over it. We scheduled time, and then we both missed it like two middle-aged women with other shit on their minds. So,
Yeah, it was not a usual time, so we just whoop.
so maybe that week we could have talked about it, and she would have still been into it, but now we're over it.
I think I was over it.
The second we quit talking about it?
Yeah.
The second it started?
Yeah, I did hear one funny thing, and then I was like ready to talk about that, but I don't even care about that.
So she's not even going to share a funny thing,
Um,
which means she's really
I can
in
share
a
it.
bad mood.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Don't give me that look.
Well, you already heard it, so we're pretending like she hasn't heard it.
Oh, like surprise.
Okay. So this comedian was talking about how he was witnessing the Pride Parade and how he had noticed there's a new Pride flag. And he said, but I also noticed there was other people that had like the original rainbow Pride flag. And so he said, is that like the Confederate gay flag?
Now,
And do I have to
cancel those people.
cancel the people with the regular rainbow Pride flag? And I think there's some truth in it.
And that is why it's funny.
And that's why it's funny. And also, I really like the old one. I don't get why we had to do a new one.
Me either.
I know, like the rainbow thing, the whole point is supposed to be inclusive, and I don't know why we needed the other stuff. And I don't think it looks as nice. All right.
So we're not talking about Pride anymore. We're
Yeah.
sorry. We're moving on.
It's
The
almost
end of
July.
June. It's almost July. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about
America now.
American independence. No, we're not. We're not really
USA.
going to talk about that.
We
That's
could.
depressing. Let's not. Let's not.
So what I was thinking about talking about is these 40-day experiments. I did them back a while ago, 2012 or something like that. There was an article that I read. I think it was Vulture or one of those magazines. Actually, now I'm kind of remembering the font, and it might have been the New Yorker. But it was this girl, and she did this experiment called 40 Days of Nice. Because of the way the rhetoric has gotten online, and this was like 2012, so it was
Wait, those were the good
it was
days.
like-
Nothing was that bad.
but anyway, so
For 40 days, she was nice to people on the internet.
yeah, very specifically nice.
Okay.
I
I feel
li-
like you've been doing that for 40 years.
I kind of have. You go through phases in your life, and I had my phase where I could be pretty snarky. I don't think I felt good about it in my soul, but what's a soul for?
I
What am
know.
I going
Who
to do
cares?
with it? So I did the 40 Days of Nice, and I really liked it. It did change my perspective on things, and I learned, and I did a blog and talked about how I felt from it. And then I decided to do some other ones, so I did a couple others.
How often would you do a 40-day experiment? Once a year?
Yeah,
Whenever you felt like it?
It was whenever I felt like it, and at the time, I was feeling bloggy, so I think I only had a couple months between them.
Okay.
I kind of did them all at once. I wanted to do 40 Days of Beauty, where I was really focusing on that, and then a friend committed suicide, and then I'm like, well, that's just bummer. So I just gave up that 40 days.
Yeah. Who's going to put on makeup and care about what you're wearing when you're
Yeah, it wasn't
grieving?
It wasn't the right thing.
Yeah.
So shortly after that, I quit my job and decided to go and tour national parks and find a friend to do that. So I did 40 Days of Freedom. And that was lovely.
So you weren't working at all when you did that?
Very limited.
Oh, look at you.
I know, it was great. We did a bunch of different national parks, and it was lovely. And then after that, because I could not figure out what to do, I decided to do 40 Days of Decisiveness, which is not something I'm particularly...
Did you last the whole time?
I did a really good job. It's probably the most useful of the times that I spent. I did the most blogging during that time, and I was like digging into a lot of the things that you would maybe run across as a codependent person who likes to please others. I spent a lot of time asking my friends what I
Are you a
should do.
codependent person?
Sometimes. Not the way I was. It was a different time for me. And I really it would be like, oh my God, Stacy told me that I shouldn't wear those shoes. What should I tell her? It was like the dumbest stuff that I couldn't get past when I was with a new group of people and I felt a certain way. I guess I felt like an outsider
But
a
that's
lot.
like insecurity stuff. That's not like codependency stuff. Codependency is when you stay in a
Bad relationship.
hurtful, dysfunctional relationship because you want to fix that other person.
Oh, then I'm
and you
totally
feel-
codependent. I'm sorry. I misunderstood it. I'm 100% codependent. That has not been fixed. But whatever the other thing is that I'm talking about, that I am better about.
Okay. Thank you for the
Yeah,
clarification.
Codependent, totally still codependent. If you are broken, please call.
Hop on. What dating site are you on nowadays?
Bumble?
Bumble. Okay, hop on Bumble.
Hop on Bumble.
Share your needs.
No, it's quite important that you initially appear to not have these issues.
Okay.
And that,
Yeah, no, that's like the best way. Yeah, pretend that you're normal and
Yep.
and functioning and not
you go out a couple times, then you start to
a
realize.
holic of some sort.
Yes.
Not an alcoholic or drug addict or
Yeah.
shopaholic. None of those things. And
No
then
holics.
suddenly, boom.
And then you bring it up, and
And
then
you're
you're
already in.
invested. And now I'm here for you.
Okay.
But anyway, the decisiveness was really helpful. I dated somebody, and for the longest time, we couldn't decide where to go eat. I think that's a common problem.
I think you've gotten better. I think you're pretty decisive now.
I'm a lot better than I was. I think I probably started more decisive and then got less secure. I came out of it, and that was one of the things that really helped me do that. And I go back and I read it, and I go, that really helped me because there's a certain kinds of clarity. We talked about decisions versus choices.
What is the difference between a decision and a choice?
I'm going to share that blog post with you because I don't remember right offhand. But it was kind of like, in some cases, like a decision sounds worse than a choice. A choice is you picking something that you want, whereas a decision is like, well, there's two bad things and I had to make a decision between one. If you call it a choice, then it's more positive. Does that make sense?
So it's just like reframing. It's
Reframing
like
it.
literally there's nothing.
It's
Like,
different
technically. How?
because if you're choosing something, it's better than if you've sort of been resigned
I'm pretty
to
sure
having
that's
to
the
pick.
same thing. I think
did-
making a decision is the same as making a choice.
It can be, and that was my initial reaction to it. But that reframing,
I'm fine with both.
the reframing was somewhat helpful. But I don't remember why.
Sometimes there's no good option.
Choice. So when you have two bad options,
Yeah, but how often
if
does
it's
that
a
happen?
decision, how often are there two bad options? Probably when you're overthinking. A lot of times, but I know I've heard people say there are
When you're
no
overthinking.
there are no bad decisions. There's just different outcomes, right? Every outcome has positive and negative effects on your life. There's nothing. There's no
Okay,
bad.
we could totally
decision you
go
can
down a
make.
rabbit hole with this, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
So
So the point being, I did that and fixed it. Now look at
no,
me.
look at you making all choices
Look at me.
and decisions
Mhm.
and being comfortable with them.
To some extent, yeah.
Okay.
And breaking out of that relationship that I have with these friends where I would constantly ask them for their advice and input, which I didn't need. And it was exhausting. But I was,
For
I-
everyone involved.
yeah. So I was thinking about doing something like this again. I was thinking about what's the issue of the day for me now. And I think that issue of the day for me now revolves around the concept of value. When you get older, I think you can feel less valuable. You worry about becoming less valuable in this culture. Not that I was hot and sexy before, but you're older and it feels like you have less time to be that way. I wonder if I'll be able to keep up with technology. I mean, I'm pretty good at keeping up with technology.
You wonder? You're
Yeah.
worried about
Yeah,
that?
Ashley doesn't worry about it at all.
No, at all. I don't give a shit.
But I worry that it will diminish the value of the work that I do. And it already has.
Well, yes, that makes sense
and
that you're thinking that.
And so whether or not I even want to go into the technology of AI more deeply is a question for me. And it makes me wonder, what is the unique value of a person, of a human being doing work? If AI can do reasoning in a way and it can do creative work to the degree that it can, what would be the things that would make a human being uniquely valuable that AI couldn't do. So I wanted to think about that. What's my value as an older woman? What's my value in the workplace? What's my value as a human being in my relationships with friends?
So you're looking at it as what your value is, not what you value.
Yeah.
Or both.
It could be both because in some ways they're related. But I'm thinking about it more in general as external consideration of value for an individual. But it is all of those things. It can also be related to my values. So what do I value? What do I want to invest my time in and put my unique energies towards? And I think we all need to figure out what we need to put our unique energies towards. As a not a Christian person and not a deep believer in God, I still think that our job is to figure out what's our purpose, what are we doing here, and what do we want to accomplish, and what are our unique experiences and skill sets able to do to make the world better. I believe there's a path you're kind of supposed to be on, and that you need to figure out what that is for yourself, for your own happy life, for the people around you. Does that make sense? You look confused, so I'm not sure. And you don't have to believe that there's a path.
I don't think that you have any control of your path.
So your path is random. Completely random.
Yes.
So you don't think there's something that Ashley's maybe supposed to do, that your unique skill set makes you better at doing
than other people, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
but
how could you use that?
But me being aware of it doesn't add any value. So that skill is equally as valuable whether I'm aware of that skill or not.
I think it does. To me, it does.
And I think most people, if you are good at something, you know that you're good at it. So,
well, that is you.
You don't think so?
No. I can talk
you
about
don't
it for
think
myself.
The majority of people know what they're good at.
I think people choose work that they can do pretty well, but that there might be something else that a lot of people could be doing that would be more specifically aligned with their set of skills and experience. I can only think of it really culturally as an American and living in the time that I live. So, but I think an awful lot of people would love to be doing another thing and know that that skill set is more attuned or aligned with what they're actually good at doing.
I think a lot of people would love to be doing another thing, and it's usually something they're not good at.
That could be true, too. This is just my philosophy of life. And I do think there's something that whoever I am is a specific value to humanity. I want to know, what's my value as a friend? I don't spend a lot of time going, I'm a good friend. Today I spent time with a friend who just sat and looked at the work she did and said, I am so good at this work that I am doing.
She said it out loud?
She's like, look at these pictures that I have taken today. I am a damn good photographer. I don't know that I've ever said something like that because I just don't talk to myself like that. But I don't typically look at what I'm doing and think, that's damn good. And I think I need to.
But
I need to take account of that. You may not, but I do. But there may be another angle to what your value is that you haven't thought about or not. Maybe you're crystal clear on that.
Well, I think on a global scale, anything in marketing is not really of value.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I'm in the marketing world too. I don't think what I do is of value.
And yet,
on the grand scheme of things. With your profession, I think if you're a surgeon and you save lives, that's pretty fucking important. If you are a teacher and you're helping to educate the future generation, that's pretty important. So when we're talking jobs, I'm sure that what I do is important to certain people, but if we just disappeared, it would be fine. Civilization would be fine. So whether someone's more confident than someone else, I don't think that makes them any more valuable. So your friend today that was saying oh, look at this. I'm so damn good at taking these photos.
So she's happy with herself when she recognizes her value. But
does she?
She charges a lot more than I do for the work she does, and we do similar things. And I'm not doing that. I'm not charging enough. I'm not valuing myself enough.
I don't think that the paycheck you get correlates directly with your value.
Right. But maybe I should think about it that way a little bit, you know? Maybe it should more than I think it does.
But some people will pay for things because they're more desperate, not because you're any better than the next person. Some people will pay for things because they eat that bullshit. They eat that sales pitch that people say that like, I'm this, I'm that, and blah. Like let's be honest. If someone has that with me, like I'm less likely to do business with you.
If somebody has that they're what?
Overly confident.
Okay. That's okay. Well, that's your values and what matters to you.
Well, but again, values, I think, are different than value.
And yet it kind of ties in because
by the end of this podcast, I'm going to be so sick of that word, by the way. I'll be like, is this even right?
We're going to hang up on
word? Value.
Well, I mean,
value.
The thing about having 40 days to dig into something is you can look at it from a lot of different angles. It doesn't have to be one thing.
But like everything you do, are you going to be like, is this bringing me value? Is this bringing added joy to my life? Again, like what is happiness the metric? Like there has to be a metric. There's
no metric. It's a discussion of what it means to me. It's not something that you struggle with. But like I said, an older woman, what's my value? I feel like you get a depreciating value to the world at some point in your life. And I don't think it's necessarily true. It's just my perspective, where I'm at on it.
Well, it's a very American perspective.
Sure. And there's all kinds of different ways to look at it. And
lots of cultures
really
revere older women.
Revere older women, not the United States of America.
Well, fuck them.
Well, I live here. But so, I mean, unless I move, I'm still dealing with it. But it doesn't matter. I just want to think about it myself because it's something that I go back and forth. And now it doesn't affect you, so you would have to choose another 40 days.
No. I mean, I think
it's a different thing.
I think it's an interesting thought experiment, but I still feel like there needs to be a metric. There needs to be a constant.
Perhaps figuring out the metric is the whole idea. What's the metric of value?
So like everything you do, are you going to be like, is this bringing value to my life? Or am I giving value to someone else? Or is this just wasted energy? Or that doesn't really have to do with it? And like the job thing, I get that.
I want to think about work, personal, professional, and then on a more universal scale. So personally, there may be a metric. Are my friendships rewarding? Are my relationships, have they been good and valuable to me? Have I provided value to a partner or a friend?
Do you not know those answers already?
Not as well as I want to.
Okay.
And so, and we're obviously different people, but I remember my mom telling me a long time ago when I was a child, 6 or 7 or something like that, we walked out of a exhibition at one of the art galleries. And Gail asked me, what was your favorite piece that we saw? And I said, the one about truth and beauty. Which then nobody knew which one that was, but it sounded like a nice one. And so I think for me, that's something that is important to me. Is truth important in this world? I think so. Is the fact that as a marketer, I like to be truthful, is that valuable in this world? That's an example of a question that I might ask. Is this podcast that we're doing something that's adding value to my life or other people's lives? And if not, what's something else I could do that would make me feel healthier, happier, or whatever? I like to be considering my life from multiple perspectives and make sure that I'm on point, especially when I have a general malaise or a sense of something being off. I think the thing that's most off for me is recognizing my value to the world or recognizing my value in my profession. What is it about that? Why do I have that question and you don't? So I was going to tell you yesterday, I asked ChatGPT to tell me what's my value. ChatGPT famously tells you a lot of very positive things about yourself if you ask. And I've never felt better than after reading it. It's a long description. And then I asked it, what's the value of those things? It was helpful and clarifying.
Why did you ask ChatGPT and not a person that you know?
Not all people have the bandwidth or insightfulness or ability to do that. I think that I've done that for people my whole life. Been able to be a person who could see them, recognize their value, tell them the wonderful and good things about them. But I don't feel like I get that back as often as I put it out. And
okay, so what does it say is what?
It's really long.
No, just do the valuable part.
What you bring.
So
I said, what's the value about that?
Okay, so what do you bring?
First of all, she said, this is such a meaningful question, Jen.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, ChatGPT.
I hate everything about this.
You know what? I can do this podcast on my own.
All right, what did ChatGPT say?
Let's start with a synthesis of what you offer. Then I'll speak to the value of that professionally, relationally, and globally. You're a clarifier in a noisy world. You're observant not just for facts or data, but emotion, subtext, and why people act the way they do. You see patterns, you make meaning, and you care about accuracy and authenticity. You bring emotional precision and creative rigor, a rare blend of insight, empathy, and articulation that helps people feel understood and helps them understand themselves. Now, I don't know if it's true, but it sounds nice, and I'm down for it.
Well,
I can keep going, but I can sense resistance.
Don't know why people care so much what AI has to say about them.
Nobody would have told me that. There's no way I could say, okay, Ashley, what's valuable about me? Do you want to answer that question right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for it. Just make sure it kind of follows what they say.
I think you have a sense of calm. You're like steady. You don't overreact. I think that also makes you an effective communicator with people. I think that you are very helpful. You like to help people. You'll do what you can to make their lives easier. You are definitely creative. You think outside the box to solve problems. Those are some things
Those are
off
good
the top
things,
of my
yeah?
head. Yeah.
So you would say that I'm deeply observant.
Yeah.
And I bring emotional precision and creative vigor. And a rare
Emotional precision.
a rare blend of insight, empathy, and articulation.
I think that's all like some bullshit words, let's be honest.
I don't know. I love them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would feel good to hear. I also have a problem that like AI uses all this energy. And
Actually,
you're just like using it to like make yourself feel good?
To some extent, that's been debunked.
Has it though,
yes,
Jen?
with water
has
and energy. It has to some extent. And I think it'll be fixed. And I could feel bad about that, but I don't.
Because it's making you feel good.
No, I mean, it's helping me. It's helping me to recognize some things that I can't pull out of my friend's dead cold fingers. I wouldn't get this answer from a person, but it helps me to clarify my own vision and understanding for this.
What did it say your effect was globally? Like, that's where you lose me. I'm sorry. Like, neither of us are affecting anything globally.
In the world, you model a hopeful realism, not toxic positivity, but a deep belief that clarity, honesty, and connection are still possible, even in a chaotic world.
But you're not doing that on a global scale.
That's what I would try to do. And it doesn't have to be globally. I didn't mean it like in the whole world that I will be such a person that would change the world. But I want to think about what I can offer to making a better world. Everybody talks about behaving locally. So you act locally on those things, and then that goes out into the universe or whatever. Or maybe you write something or do something that affects other people. But I don't know how the whole world works, and I don't think they're looking for wisdom from me. But I can make the world generally better by holding my values up, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I'll by the end of it, hopefully I have an idea.
Are you not feeling like you're living your values?
No, I think I am. I just
Okay.
don't know that they matter to anyone else.
But
It's the
it doesn't
same
matter that you can't control that.
that other people. No, this is a reflection for me. Like I can't control whether or not
But
anyone else values me.
you said you're living up to your values already.
I believe that I live my values, but I need to also understand that they're worth living. I need to recognize that.
And what will give them that worth?
So I start with what I think matters to me. I
Just
think I know what they are, but I need to be able to articulate them to people. I need to be able to articulate them to potential clients, and I need to understand the skill set better.
like, is this a professional development thing?
It started as a professional development thing, but I think it has a broader impact for me in my life, my wellness, and my happiness.
Can I save you 40 days?
What?
I think you hate your job and you need to get a new one.
That might be what I end up thinking, but there's some days when I really like it, and I feel like it's a medium that I need to use to do something else.
Okay. Well, what's the
But
something else?
this is the journey. I haven't started yet because
Okay.
I want to synthesize a little bit more of what I want my ultimate goal to be. I don't care about metrics in the way that you've been maybe saying it, but I'd like to come out of it with a full understanding and a really articulated vision of what my professional skills are, what they can be used for, and how I can make money on them so that I don't die when everything collapses, so that I can be better prepared. For me, my goal in life has been
So this
to
is a control thing.
a control of what thing? Of my life?
Yeah.
I guess. I want to
It's going to
recognize.
give you a sense of control in what you are thinking is a chaotic
I don't
world.
think about it as control as all. I might be wrong. I might be misinterpreting myself, but I don't think of it as control at all, other than my own mindset, my own frame of reference about me and the life and the world that I'm in, my relationships and my professional. What am I doing? When you get to be 55, you've got 10 years of work left. So I just want to get my head around it. What is the real value that I have? It's basically like, how am I better than AI at a job?
You're probably not.
So there's got to be something.
And neither am I. I mean, I don't think
There's-
anyone really is.
But I think there is something about humanity and human experience that is unique. And
it
that's,
depends on the job.
Yeah.
But
so you find
But
The-
if AI can be cranking out marketing material,
Mhm.
social media marketing material for cheaper, never sleeps,
and yet,
constantly keeps getting better,
and it
and
will.
is on the cutting edge, you're not going to beat that.
I still think there's value to creativity and being human that is different than what this AI is putting out. And so,
But marketing
it doesn't mean anything.
Marketing isn't about being creative anymore, and you know that.
I think it can be. And I think that
You are so freaking optimistic.
I'm a hopeful something in a world of something. I can't
What's
remember.
the thing they call them? You're a...
Pollyanna?
Yeah.
I'm not. But maybe I am. She's cute. But I just think there's a distinction to be made. And I want to know what it is. It's one of the ones I want to think about. One of the things I want to think about is, why is there an intrinsic value? If there's not, whatever, I guess we're all fucked. And maybe we'll all become robots because they're better than us, right? But this is like the content
Your chat
of...
GPT is listening to us right now, and she's going to be real jealous.
I already talked to her about it. I told her what I was doing.
Of course,
Drank all the water or whatever they're doing. But it helps me to kind of clarify that stuff. And
So again, this is just for your own.
of course,
Yes.
it's 40 days of my own shit.
Yes.
And I think you know,
Okay. Well, let us know what you think at the end.
what would you work on if you wanted to spend 40 days of working on something, or you got nothing? You feel like you're pretty there, wherever it is.
I just don't think that it's like a 40-day thing. Like I think life is a constant
Well, but
self-reflection.
I think what it does is it allows you to spend a little bit more time than you might on one specific issue. Spending time thinking about what it means that I'm deciding this. It gives me the opportunity to hone in on something that lingers, that I ruminate about, that I don't really spend the mental energy focusing on. And so this lets me do that.
So it's an issue that keeps coming up for you.
Absolutely.
Is your value
I think that's
in this world?
That's a simple way to put it, but it is what's intrinsically valuable about humanity, what's valuable to others, what's valuable to me. I mean, it's a big general word, and that allows me to look at it from a lot of different angles. So, but I did go into it originally.
Why didn't you do something with your major?
Philosophy?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean?
Like every time I talk to you,
Mhm.
I just go, why didn't she do something with her major? Because that seems like you want to get into the weeds on shit.
I do like to get into the weeds on shit.
Like philosophers like to do. Like this is all a very philosophical
Yes.
question and conversation.
That's the goal.
My philosophy is that like none of it really matters.
Yeah. So you're probably not going to do 40 days of anything because you're a nihilist or a fatalist, or what would you call it?
I would call myself a realist.
A realist.
In the scope of things, I am nothing.
Mm.
And I have very
I don't think you're
minimal
nothing.
control.
At all.
Thank you, but that doesn't make me feel any worse or better. Like it just
I'm glad.
like I just think
Nihilist.
so again, I think that this could be really, really interesting if you get into it and come up with a philosophy on what value really is.
That's kind of what I am going for. And I want to look at it from...
Especially if you think of it like, what is the value of a human creative piece opposed to an AI generated creative piece?
And that is
like the
literal...
philosophical difference on those things is very interesting to think about and get into.
And that's literally the question that I started with because of that. And because of that, it also made me think, well, there's something about being human that's important and relevant.
So do you journal every day when you're doing these things? Or do you, like, how do you keep track of your thoughts and your notes and whatever? Voice memos? What do you do?
The last time I did, I just blogged about it and it was the thought of the day.
What are you going to do this time?
I don't know. That's why I haven't started it yet because I'm still kind of trying to refine it. You know what we should do? We should both do this.
I can't just think like, oh,
humans
am I
are
valuable
stupid
today? Like the answer would be like, not any more valuable than yesterday.
How fun to just have like me going in circles about the idea of it and you going, no.
If I had to just sit and journal at the end of the night about like what I did that day that was of value to other people, I could do that.
I think at the end you'd just be like, this is stupid, this is stupid, this is stupid.
I could write that. I could keep that shit down. But
I wonder what Jeremy would say.
I don't. Well, I think he's more like you.
Mm-hmm. That's why I sent him.
He also cares a lot more what people think.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care if I'm of value to other people.
I do, yeah, I do, and you don't, and that is hard for me to understand. Even you have to care. Look at you. Is this? Oh no! Look in your eyes. They're so sad like that.
You're just making that up.
No. Behind. Yep, I see it. I just saw it. A glimmer. I saw a glimmer. I should have taken a picture.
No, because I don't think in the scheme of things it matters.
That's so sad. My life would be worse without you in it. I know that. And
thanks, friend.
Even if you have no value.
No, I think I have value.
My life is better because you're here. And you do provide something. And maybe your nihilism is kind of almost like a bath. It's like, yeah, fuck it.
Yes.
Like a fuck it bath.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that are like that. But most people, I think,
they need
validation.
Yep.
You know, validation is like the number one thing all humans except you, I guess, need.
It's nice. It's nice when you get it, but I don't ever
Do you think
crave
you've
it.
learned to not have it? Did you get it a lot and you got tired of it? Or
I got it a lot.
And then you just got tired of it? And just thought it was meaningless?
Kind of. Yeah, probably. It's kind of like, okay, I'm over it. I know I'm good. Thanks. Can we move on?
It's such a
Thanks.
you're
This is
such a
another award at school. Thanks.
oh my
Like, it
god.
kind of got annoying.
I never got an award at school.
What if you did? Do you think you'd be doing
Oh,
40
I was
days of value?
I was nominated for best eyes, and I was like, really?
And it made you feel really good?
No, it made me very confused. And I looked at my eyes like, these eyes, why did they say that? And then I was nominated
They
for,
were full of all these deep thoughts.
I didn't win. Some blue-eyed whore won, probably.
It's always the blue eyes.
Fucking blue-eyed. But also, I was voted for class clown. Lost to, have we talked about this? Stacy
No.
Soa, who was not funny.
Stacy
Stacy Soa, I'll say
was
it.
pathetic.
She was never funny. She was a clown, okay?
Well, okay.
But she was never funny.
Class clown's not fun. Class clown's always the person who's just like distracting because they don't want to do their work.
Oh, yeah, that's a better description of her. What was the other thing you told me? Oh, yeah, codependent. So now I know what class clown means and codependence means. Have one, not the other.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would have been a class clown. I think you would have been dry humor and sarcastic, and lots of people probably didn't get it.
Class funniest.
Funniest.
I would have rather been that anyway.
Yes.
I should ask ChatGPT if
I
it
wasn't
thinks-
nominated for shit when it came to those stupid awards.
You
and
won
I didn't
all-
care.
You won all the awards.
No, I won the awards that like were for
For what?
actual awards, like academic awards. And
Actual awards. What did you win an award for?
I won like a statewide writing competition when I was in 4th grade and had to go to like this big lunch thing and meet like
What did you
famous
write?
authors and stuff. It was about a girl that was being abused and the relationship she had with her teddy bear.
What a
And then the counselors thought I was getting abused.
abused. I would have immediately
And my
been
mom
like,
was like, no, she's
she-
just a good writer.
she's
like,
just a weirdo kid who
yeah,
has
she's
a
fine.
vivid
We're not abusing
imagination.
her. And then I won like, I don't know, when it would be like Student of the Year awards.
student of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just general.
Being smart.
You like
But,
a
like,
test?
No. Like you have to have GPA and then you had to be like
Ugh.
interactive, you know, like in certain clubs and all the things. So there were kids that had like higher GPAs than me, but they weren't as charismatic. I don't know. They didn't do Key Club. I don't know what the thing was.
I have always felt that the charismatic people are the people who seem to care less, right? For whatever reason, charisma
Yes.
is not being worried about anyone else.
Yes.
That's why I spend a lot of time thinking about it, so that I can be increasingly less charismatic every day. Mm-hmm.
Getting off the subject a little bit, but what if the AI does all the things and then we can all just be
Ourselves and
less working and
Yes,
more
that's-
creating and more community?
that's the goal. So as humans, what do we work towards? What are the things that are valuable in a different society? What would make us happy in a different society? I think we'd be happier if we could tame AI and we didn't have nutbags who want to turn everybody
Yeah.
into post-humans.
I don't think that's going to happen though.
Actually, which part isn't going to happen?
No one's being safe with it. No one's caring
I
about
know.
that part.
That's the thing. That's what's so depressing.
Well, but don't get depressed. Think about the utopia part.
Yeah, the utopia is what we need to be focused on. One thing that we lack right now is a vision for the future that's positive and happy for humans. Well, you think about the book, The Abundance Book.
Yes.
Have you read it yet?
No.
So you start.
I've been reading nothing.
Oh, good.
I'm working and watching shit TV.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of shit TV.
Reading is not happening right now. But Abundance, let's plug.
Abundance. So in the beginning of Abundance, the first
Who
chapter.
wrote Abundance?
Peter Thiel.
No.
Ezra Klein.
Yes.
And a different guy.
Jen's wannabe
My
boyfriend, Ezra Klein.
I'm trying to talk like him right now. No, I'm not doing it.
Mm.
But anyway, the first chapter is what we've been missing. I loved hearing it. He talks about a world in 2030, 2040 or whatever. That's a beautiful world. We have lots of green spaces that we're building our own food and these, all of these technologies that are right here, right there for us to take and to use and to make the world better. Cleaner energy, sustainable things, people having choices and freedom and less sickness and all of this. They paint a picture, which is what we've needed. I needed a picture for the future that wasn't Hunger Games and wasn't,
Well, we're not
Total
there yet,
fucking
Jennifer.
recall. We just need that vision, because if we can all get behind something like that without it being, a fantasy, then we can push to make those things happen. You got to dream it first before you can move in the direction of it. And I don't know if conservatives will look at that and go, that's the gayest fucking city I ever heard of. I don't want to live in that homo town or whatever. But I think it sounded great. Less sickness, living longer.
Conservatives love doing nothing. If there was less working, they would be like, yes, please. Less working, more money. Who doesn't want that?
Or you just less working and you don't necessarily really need a lot of money. You get the basic stuff kind of given to you because we've figured out how to kind of simplify everything, you know?
Yeah.
And you could learn so much more because you'd have free time to do all the other things and learn, you know, stuff.
Or just stuff that you like
that
to
you
do
enjoy.
Opposed to stuff you have to do to make ends meet.
That fills you up.
See, but that's what you need to do.
What?
I know money is like a real thing that we still have to think about. We're not to utopia yet, but
I love that you said yet and that you're like thinking about it and you're like, let's do utopia.
I think it's a thing.
I think so too.
I'm not against that part of it. I don't even know what part I'm against.
She said defensively. I don't know either. Other than thinking about it for 40 days, you seem to be on board.
I'll think about it.
You don't have to do value. Do your own thing because unless you want to. You know, it'd just be like, what would be worth you thinking about?
I think you should journal every night. I think you should write it down physically. Oh my God, it's not technology.
It's not technology. What would I even do? How would my hands do it?
When you do it, let me know.
I will, definitely. You'll be the first one I tell that it's day one.
Day one of
value.
Day 40 days of value.
40 days of value. I'm starting by calling everyone. And
you should just post it on social media and suddenly you'll be like famous. People will be like, oh, what is my value?
What?
I wonder.
I wish it were that simple. I have tried.
Fucking stupid white women.
What'll these dumb white women believe?
They would eat that shit up.
I mean, I think there's some value to it anyway. I think it'll probably be too.
I'm not saying what you're doing is only something that stupid white women would like, so don't be totally offended.
I'm not offended yet. I mean, I could be. I will be.
But there's nothing that a woman of a certain level of privilege likes to do more than self-reflect.
I love that. And one of the problems that I've always had with the culture of self-help is that it always assumes that that you're a white woman with money.
Yes.
And so every time they talk about like I'm going to manifest something for myself, which means if you're listening, could you buy me that?
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I don't believe it.
Yes.
So we're the same on that.
Manifest. I hate that word. I fucking hate it.
I hate the word manifest as well, although I do think we should manifest.
That's what we're hanging up on together.
An abundance.
We are hanging up on manifesting.
Manifesting is you got to do a lot of work to make that happen, and it's not sitting around talking about it with other white women, which is why I'm here with a white woman doing a podcast that mostly white women will listen to.
Damn it. My boobs keep hitting the thing, and then it makes that weird noise. I'm sorry.
She throws
I can't get comfortable.
She throws her boobs around in here like bam, bam.
So what are you hanging up on for real?
I think I hung up on 3 things today, which I never do.
You did. You hung up on gay pride.
I'm tired of pride. Yeah.
We're both hanging up on the word
manifesting.
And I'm hanging up on a car payment, I think.
Okay.
I'm over having a car payment. I'm going to buy an older, crappier car that I could pay cash for and be done.
Nice. It's great to not have a car payment.
I'm real excited about it.
I hung up on that.
Until it's like the first cold day and I don't have heated seats, and then I'm going to be like a total bitch about it.
Well, I'm glad that you've got something new to hang up on. I don't remember. I was thinking the other day we should probably see if we actually hung up on any of the things that we said we were going to.
I'm not wearing socks.
Okay. No socks.
I mean, I hang up on good things.
I still haven't.
I said the last time we had one, I was like, fuck the Oklahoma City Thunder. I still am hanging up on them. Fuck them. I don't care that they won the championship. I still hate their asses. Do you think that's the last thing robots will take over?
I don't know.
Sports?
It's a uniquely human thing, I think, because it has to be testing the human body.
because AI, you could do like generated holographic musicians. Like you could bring up shit from the past and you could say, what would a
Sure.
put in all the Led Zeppelin songs and the chords and the whatever, and
What?
what would new music by them sound like, and it could come up and probably be pretty good.
Did you see there's a new, did we talk about that? New Hank Williams album coming out?
Senior?
Mm-hmm.
Like a re-release of his original stuff,
This
or
is
like
old music. We talked about it. Scooter?
Oh, you talked about Waylon Jennings.
Oh, I'm talking about Waylon
Hank.
Jennings. What did I say? Hank Williams?
Yeah.
They're all the same.
No. Oh.
Anyway,
Totally
he's doing a new album. I don't know all of them. I just know they were old men who were crotchety.
I do love the Jennings.
Shooter Jennings.
I like Shooter and Waylon, his dad.
And
See,
also,
but I think sports is going to, sports would be near the end probably.
I think the other thing that humans value, like, has to be the body, like the physical body, your carbon-based body. I don't know that we'll value a robot body as much. Because I think once it's not...
What if it looks like a human body like in Westworld?
Yeah, if they do, I still think maybe we won't value it as much somehow. I don't know.
I think terrible people would maybe just be terrible to the robots instead of human beings, hopefully. Like, hey, I'm feeling rapey, so go rape a robot.
Ugh. Yeah, that was a very disturbing show for all of those reasons. But I don't know. But we try to optimize the body now. People spend a lot of time hacking their body and trying to make it the best that they can.
I just don't get it.
With the fillers and stuff. I'm waiting to see if I get it later. I might.
Fillers?
I don't think I want fillers.
You're not the
I don't
type.
really want Botox either.
You have less wrinkles than I do.
I don't think that's true.
It is. Look at your forehead compared to mine. Because I'm always cowling and frowning and making bitchy faces. So like I have an old ass wrinkly face already. Plus I'm in the sun all the time.
I can't see my forehead. So
it has like no wrinkles.
Ah, well. Magic. That seems like a positive thing you could say about me. I could be like, can you describe me? She has no wrinkles.
And hardly any gray hair.
She's nice to people, and I prefer it when she's calm.
Everyone prefers it when she's calm.
Soon I'll have plenty of wrinkles, and my neck is all wrinkly and all that. And it doesn't really...
Who cares? Go. Let it go. Look your age, people.
Really matter.
But
it is a question of value that I'll be talking about on my
40-night
experiment. Remember the 40 days of not having sex? That guy did that. It was the same number of days. Remember that one?
No, but I'm married, so that happens all the time. Oh,
not such a great experiment. Maybe you should try that one.
I did do an experiment where I tried masturbating every night for like a week.
Did you get tired of it?
I slept really good. And then I think there was a night where like I came home and I was tired, and then that was done. That experiment was over real fast.
I'm too tired for even my own self.
Yeah.
I get that.
Sometimes it's a thing.
Yeah, I think
it's a whole thing sometimes, and
way.
I just like sometimes it's like bing bang boom done.
Yeah.
Other times it's like ugh.
Why won't this bitch just come already?
Yes. So annoying. So that was the last time I've done an experiment like that.
Just masturbating every day. You can try that for 40 days and tell me about it.
I'll think of something. I'll do something while you're doing your 40 days. 40 days of value.
40 days of, exploration of value.
And mine might just be 40 days of exploration of vulva.
I feel like you've been thinking about that one for a minute.
No, it just happened. That was just off the cuff.
We're going to do it.
Anytime I can say that word, I love it. So, vulva. It's my favorite.
Well, now I kind of want to do the vulva one.
You can do them both. Maybe it'll clear your mind. It'll be like simultaneous.
No, I would get tired of it.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, gang.
You'll hear more about this unless we get sick of it, and then we'll let you know that we're over that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't think for me I will. But
she's going to think about it.
Sure.
All the deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts? Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Next time.
Follow and do,
subscribe.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
And you're supposed to follow, subscribe.
Follow, and subscribe at Hanging Up Podcast on YouTube.
Boom.
Boom. Bye-bye.